everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is Thursday. The world is upside down, and we are going to play by the rules, the Litecoin rules. So I'll be right back with Johnny Litecoin right after this. Hey, Johnny Litecoin, what's happening?
Lisa, what's up? What's up?
I'm finally better. I'm back to the land of the living mostly. I've kept trying to get on and do a video, and then I was like, oh, I got to go back to bed. I got like the Vegas flu.
The Vegas flu. Oh man.
Yeah, it was
Sorry
terrible.
for my I'm in a weird, it looks like I'm standing up. I promise I'm not that tall. If you guys have seen me, you know I'm not. I look like I'm 8 feet tall.
As long as there's not plastic on the floor around you and your legs aren't strapped to the chair, I think you're okay. But otherwise it looks all right.
Good. Very good. Very good. So yeah, Lisa, happy to be back. Happy to be I missed you guys 2 weeks in a row. So
Yes.
Hopefully we go on a good run through the holidays. I'm not missing you guys. I love this show. I love getting the message out there of freedom, liberty, Litecoin, Bitcoin, sound money, and how to beat the bad guys and what to look out for. And we're really in a what a week. I've been talking about keep your eye out for an event. And I said,
And which event?
Which event? And what we saw this week, I mean, obviously this was planned and ahead of time. This is definitely something like I was talking about that they're going to do to us. So it's hard to predict exactly what they're going to do, but
there's a lot of distraction out there for sure.
Be ready for anything. Be ready for anything.
Yeah. And being ready for anything is having your eye on the ball. And you certainly had your eye on the ball. I was really enjoying your video. You were full of piss and vinegar.
Yes. I'm back. I'm back if I'm doing a full of piss and vinegar video. Johnny's feeling good.
You guys should go follow Johnny on Twitter and see the full video. It's awesome. He's talking about Bitcoin rules or F this and do that and do this other thing. And then he's like, but forget that. We're going to do Litecoin rules. So tell us what the 3 rules of Litecoin are.
All right. Well, first of all, Lisa, have you seen that guy, British Hodl, his 3 rules?
I have not. I like your version of it, though.
He's kind of taken the Bitcoin world by storm. And I love his voice. I love his videos. He doesn't like Litecoin. Apparently, he replied in the tweet, but I did message him, and he did like my follow-up tweet. And he just said, "Hey, I love the spirit of your message. I just don't agree with the Litecoin."
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair. And a lot of people don't know about Litecoin, and they don't realize what it's done and what it's done for Bitcoin, and that it's there to help Bitcoin. So the guy, British Hodl, his 3 rules of Bitcoin. I hope there's no kids in the room. If they are, I'll give them a second to get them out.
These videos are not made for children. So
rule number 1, he says, buy Bitcoin. Rule number 2, you shut the fuck up. And rule number 3, you get fabulously wealthy. That's his 3 rules of Bitcoin.
That's hilarious.
And it's hilarious. I keep messaging my friend Greg every morning. I said, are you following your 3 rules of Bitcoin? But I was thinking about it. I like his message, and his whole thing is you got to get the 1 Bitcoin. And I agree with that. Before you screw around, you got to get the 1, secure your own wealth.
Charlie Lee says that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. So securing your own freedom is securing your own wealth. You can't have freedom if you have no wealth and you're living off the state. Then you're definitely not going to be free. So you have to secure your own wealth first. And I believe buying 1 Bitcoin is essential for that. Like it or not, Bitcoin is the asset of the crypto ecosystem. It's the longest running. It's the most decentralized. It's got by far the most hash power. It's got the most adoption. It's regulatory compliant across the world. It'll have the first ETF. It'll probably be a tier one asset like gold is at some point. So Bitcoin's got everything going for it, except it's not great to transact for the common man on chain. That's where Litecoin comes into play. Litecoin created very similarly to Bitcoin, except it mines a different algorithm. Just review Litecoin really fast. Litecoin mines on script mining algorithm, where Bitcoin mines on SHA, secure hash algorithm 256. Bitcoin has a max total supply of 21 million coins. Litecoin has 84 million coin total max supply. Bitcoin has a block is mined approximately every 10 minutes. People say every 10 minutes, not every 10 minutes, it's approximately every 10 minutes. The network adjusts itself. So you might have 3 blocks mined in 5 minutes, and then it might take 40 minutes for the next block to be mined. When you average it out, it's every 10 minutes. Litecoin is a block mined every 2.5 minutes. Now, besides from that, that guy from Abra, Bill Barheit, I've heard quote him. He said Bitcoin and Litecoin are binary compatible. That's why back in the day when Abra, how their app used to work back in the day, every buy, sell, everything in there was a Bitcoin transaction. They had to move the app to Litecoin, where when the Bitcoin network got congested at one point in time. And he said it's because they were so compatible, you could just port Litecoin in there and do what you got to do. We've seen Litecoin come through at ordinals. When the Bitcoin network got congested, people started releasing and building ordinals on top of Litecoin. Without Litecoin, there would be no Lightning Network. Litecoin integrated segregated witness, which is known as SegWit first. Litecoin's integrated Taproot, which was a really touted upgrade to the Bitcoin network. SegWit was really important. So let me explain SegWit really quick to everybody. If you go to create a Litecoin address to receive a coin, if it starts with a capital L, that's a legacy address.
Okay.
And the SegWit addresses start with LTC, lowercase. Bitcoin, the original legacy addresses start with a number 1, and the SegWit addresses start with BC1. I don't think it's BTC1. I believe it's BC1. And there's kind of a hybrid seg. You might say, well, I have an address that's starting with a 3 for Bitcoin.
Mm.
Okay, well, that was SegWit, but before they did another upgrade to make it more faster, more compatible with Lightning. Same thing with Litecoin. Before they went to the LTC1 SegWit address, the addresses started with a capital M. So, but Litecoin and Bitcoin, very compatible. They're both decentralized coins. They're both proof of work coins. So they're very compatible with one another. I think Bitcoin is the best savings mechanism or way to save. I believe kind of like people have a checking and a savings account. You should look at Bitcoin as your savings account. Store your wealth in Bitcoin. As that British hodl guy or Charlie Lee says, accumulate your 1 Bitcoin first. But then you want to get some Litecoin to transact with. So the 3 rules of Litecoin are as follows. Rule number 1, you use Litecoin. Rule number 2, you shut the fuck up. And rule number 3, you get away from the bad guys. Or as Clint Westwood says, you get away, you exit that vampire casino. That's your ticket to freedom. Because if you're just have a savings and you just have wealth, but you're not really light on your feet with how you transact, you're not going to have true freedom. Right. So I believe for true freedom, you need to use Litecoin and save in Bitcoin. And I've talked about this in the past. Now, I don't want to get into a patent argument. I know with Barry and Reggie, there's question, things about the patent. I get it.
Not layer 1 of Litecoin,
Right.
but,
So
definitely
Lightning, I think,
Lightning.
is
Yeah.
questionable.
Yeah, Lightning is
Lightning is
infringed or
questionable.
allegedly infringes. Yeah.
Right. So we'll leave that aside for a
But
minute.
that doesn't mean that it can't be used. I mean, Microsoft, if I use Microsoft Word, I pay a licensing fee every year.
Right.
And I use, and there are hundreds of thousands, or they're not hundreds of thousands. There's thousands of patents that are in my phone. I continue to use my
Right.
phone
And that
because
would be
Apple pays
more for
the
the
licensing fee.
Lightning
Yeah,
hub operators. So if you
right. It
operate a
won't be
Lightning,
the end
it
user
won't be the end
person that
user.
is affected
It would
by
be
it.
someone that's routing Lightning
Right,
transactions.
right.
So what's coming? We've talked about this technology in the past, and it's been delayed, but eventually it'll come. They spoke about it at the last year's Litecoin Summit. I know they're working on an app to have it go live, but it's a way to do what they call a cross-chain atomic swap between Litecoin and Bitcoin. And I've spoken about this in the past. In the future, the only way to get KYC free Bitcoin in a legal manner is going to be this way. Now, why is that important? You want to do things legal. You do not want to be meeting up with people at a McDonald's and buying Bitcoin from them.
Maybe
First
getting
of
hit
all,
over the head.
it could be dirty Bitcoin. They could have got it from the
Right.
dark net, and then it's tainted. Also, they are violating doing that. Now, I don't agree with it, but it is the laws. They are violating the anti-money laundering, what's called AML compliance and KYC. You're not supposed to sell peer-to-peer like that. You're supposed to sell through an exchange, collect proper KYC documents. So you're really operating. Now, yes, somebody buys $50 worth of Bitcoin from you, they're not going to, but if you sell millions of dollars in Bitcoin, trust me. And we just actually saw somebody that got an 8-year federal sentence. He was operating Bitcoin ATMs out of New Hampshire. He was part of that Free State Project.
Oh, wow.
And they gave him an 8-year sentence in federal prison. And he argued he did nothing wrong, but they said, well, you didn't do proper AML KYC.
Wow.
They're very serious about this. I know that from the credit card business. I use it as a now I follow the rules, but I also red pill people as I'm doing it. I say, look at what these maniacs are making us do.
Yeah.
This is why we need to exit their vampire casino. If you transact on a layer 1 blockchain, you've made KYC AML irrelevant. You've made it irrelevant. That's the world in which we need to live. And that's why people always that have contested my Litecoin argument so much. I said, then you're going to have to deal with KYC, AML, and all this other stuff. Because if you want to be going in and out of fiat, and if there's a new listener out there, fiat currency would be US dollars, or
Right.
fiat currency could be euros, yen. Fiat currency is a physical paper currency that's issued by a government or central bank. You're going to have to play by their rules. If not, you're going to go to, if you're doing it on a grand scale, you're going to go to prison. They are going to lock you up and put you away. So I don't, Johnny's not going to prison so somebody can violate KYC AML. I'll just red pill them and say, look at what these maniacs are doing to us. This is why you want to get the hell out of their system. You want to get out of their system because of this. I never minded KYC, because if I was ever questioned, well, why are you buying Bitcoin? I'd say, because your system sucks.
Right.
You're inflating the US dollar. It's not a real dollar. It's a Fed note. I don't want it. That's why I'm opting
And you're stealing
out.
from me. Yeah. Every
You're
time
robbing my
more.
wealth. You're robbing my liberty. You're robbing my freedom. I don't support sending money to places that I don't give a shit. I care about US soil. I don't care. I don't, you know what? Every country, I don't want harm to be done there, But
Right.
unless the U.S. is secure, sound, and taken care of, and every American child has a meal in front of them, and cities are safe, then I don't give a shit about what goes on outside of the U.S. I really don't. I care about U.S. soil first, and that maybe that's the patriot in me, but that is my belief.
That's where our focus should be, and that's what this big distraction right now. So many people are confused. If you guys are confused about what's going on right now in the world, go read. Well, watch Westwood's video from yesterday. He'll line you out real fast, and then go read Uncle Cliff's Twitter feed, and he will educate you as well. There, and Elon Musk put out a video and said this video. It was like a Saturday Night Live clip from 9 years ago, and the guy mentions Israel, and everybody goes, "Oh, you Jew hater," blah, 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 all this. They're like attacking him, and, "Oh, you want dead babies," and all this horrible stuff. And then at the end, he goes, "Forget it." He goes, "I'll just talk about something less intense or critical." I don't remember what word he used. And he goes, "How about Ukraine?" This is a video from 9 years ago.
Yeah.
This is all planned. This is all put in
All
our
plans.
face. And if you don't think you need to get your wealth or your value the hell out of this system, you're going to go down with it, because that's what they're doing. They're burning it
I
down.
saw Roger Ver did a tweet today, and I liked it. He said, "I do not stand with Israel. I do not stand with Hamas. I do not stand with Ukraine. I do not stand with Russia. I stand with the individuals that these people are against." And that's what we get.
Yeah.
Why do we like Israel? Because they tell us you must like Israel.
Yeah.
I don't like the other side, but it's like, wait a second.
Because for me, it's about the people, because we're seeing that the people is separate than these big governments that are actually just big
100%.
corporations. They're big,
100%.
that are funded by lobbyists, and it's all just a big monopoly game.
Yeah.
And that's what's really going on here. And we, the people, are the blood for the vampires, for sure, in our energy. And we're
We're
seeing,
their pawns. They want to
hopefully,
keep us
everyone is seeing
divided.
that.
They want to keep
Yeah.
us hating each other. That's why I said that
Yes.
the COVID thing was coming back, because they want to keep us. They want us fighting. That's what they want. They don't want us. They want to keep us divided, so that way, divide and conquer. They don't win if the people are united. They win if we're fighting about masks in a parking lot somewhere. You know what I mean? That's how they win.
Yeah. And there's big warnings about Friday, and being careful. And I'm using careful words even now, but you guys, just, this is the time to sit back and be an observer that Uncle Cliff was talking about. Hold things lightly and be an observer, because it's
definitely be careful, because there's just because this stuff was planned doesn't mean real stuff is going to happen. So people misunderstood me, because I said, well, a lot of this is fake. And they've said, what do you mean fake? I said, I don't mean that stuff's not happening. I just mean that it's fake, that it was done to us intentionally. It was planned. Yes. They want this. I was watching a video. Someone says Hamas wants destruction of the Gaza Strip. That way they can unite everybody together.
But it's really that the banksters want wars to be able to launder their money.
Nana's right. All wars are banker wars, and all the people suffer. 100%. They're all banker wars. It's all money driven. Now be careful, because I just, right before we got on the show, there was a tweet that came out 14 minutes ago. Something was going down in New York on a highway, like there was an explosion or something happened. So I would definitely stay the hell out of New York tomorrow. New York's, I wouldn't know why you'd want to go to New York anyways, but
ever.
To me, New York is enemy territory. I do not like to go there.
I've been there a couple times, and it was not a fun experience for me.
One time,
it's been a long time. Yeah, it was not a fun experience.
I went to see Mitch there one day, and I said, Mitch, I really like you, man. If you got me to come to New York City, I said, I hate this place, man. Like, this is not a place Johnny wants to be going to.
Well, yeah, Terrible. Speaking of Mitch, their family has had a tragedy, and so I would ask everybody to just send them some love and prayers. And I'll be traveling to see them this weekend, and I just would appreciate any love and prayers sent their way. Because right now it is just about family and friendships, and you know who your tribe is right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
lots of
Mitch
hugs.
is a great guy. So prayers for Mitch. Really good soul, really good individual. And Mitch has been there for me. Some tough stuff I've went through. Mitch has constantly reached out to me saying, Johnny, how you doing? How you doing,
That's
man? Like
nice.
checking. And so Mitch is a really good guy. Really, when it all when all the dust settles and everything, and if they took down the internet and they took everything down, I've made some really great relationships, some really good
Mhm.
friends. So Lisa, you, Westwood, Nana, I mean Mitch, there's people that
Yeah.
these relationships are invaluable. So above everything else, I'm lucky that you guys have came into my life.
No,
Lights.
I feel the same way. I'm
Yeah.
forever grateful to the people that, I'm so thankful that my mom was so brave. And even after, getting shot down by some of my other siblings, she was brave enough to share this hope of freedom and another way out of this corrupt system with my husband and I. And we grabbed onto it like crazy. And we have been just blessed over and over and over. And like you're saying, the biggest blessing has been the friendships that we've made. You,
Yep.
Westwood, Mitchie, and the whole fam,
And we're
speaking
fighting
of
for
which,
something.
yeah,
You know, most people sit back, they go through their life, and they're not, I don't blame most people, but if people knock us, it's like, wait a second, hold on. We're out there fighting for something better. So people might think a lot of times, oh, you guys are doom and gloom. You guys are, no, no, no. We're trying to show you a way out. We always say, this is a lifeboat out of the system. If somebody told you 10 minutes before the Titanic hit the iceberg, which who knows if it really hit an iceberg or what the hell happened on the Titanic, but let's just go with their official story for now. If somebody told you 10 minutes before the Titanic hit the iceberg that the ship is going to sink and told you better figure out how to get on a lifeboat, or you better figure something out, they weren't being doom and gloom. They were just trying to warn you of how to protect yourself and get the freedom. So I always say we the people are on a boat, we're out to sea, and we want to get back to land, a land of freedom. And we need to bounce different ideas and energy. If one of us is rowing the boat and we're 500 miles from land, we're never going to get there. But if a bunch of us start rowing and paddling and we put enough energy and inertia into it, we are going to get to that freedom in the land. So that's what we're doing here. It's not doom and gloom. It's a message of freedom. It's a kind message, and
mhm,
it's a way to we recognize what's going on with these maniacs. I call them creeps. These maniacs that are trying to control our lives, divide and conquer us. Don't let them win. Do not let them
yeah.
win.
No, well, keep pushing that message of hope and freedom. And that makes me think of, I heard something one time about, when you're in the war and somebody screams at you, get down, you don't get to stand there and go, that hurt my feelings, or you scared me. You just get down because you're going to be alive and you're going to be
Yeah.
able to get up again and get through this. And right now, you might be hearing some things that are hard to hear and you might have to process it. But right now, we're telling you to get down.
Down. Yeah.
Get down and row like hell because we're in it. So
Yeah.
if you want freedom, get in the boat with the fam, row like hell, and we'll see you on land. So
And there's no one solution that's an end all be all. It's a culmination of different solutions. Not every solution works for everybody. Now, we love Litecoin and Bitcoin and stuff. And somebody might say, well, I'm not comfortable with a computer. I really love gold and silver better.
Yeah.
Well, you know, then that's a better option for you. There's different
Yes.
ways to tackle this. It's just the energy and the ideas. So there's not one end all be all. Again, it's a culmination of different things.
And in that is freedom, the freedom to make that choice for what's right
Yes.
for you and your family. And
Yep.
does that resonate? And like Westwood said, trust yourself. What is right for you and your family? Trust yourself, but stop listening to they, them, and the powers that be and mainstream media, and listen to yourself and trust yourself and do what's right for you and your family.
100%. Good advice, Lisa.
All right, Johnny, you have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow on Happy Hour, hopefully in the chat. And I'm going to jump over and listen to Hash It Out. They've got Josiah from Digibyte over there, and I heard it's getting a little spicy.
Nice. I'll try to jump in tomorrow to see you guys, and I will definitely see you guys next week. Coming back with some fireworks.
All right. All right. You guys heard it here. The 3 rules of Litecoin from Johnny.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Later.